84 years.
So, hey, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I uploaded a video. In fact, it's been 6 months ever since I uploaded my Steel-type Pokemon Then vs Now video, which is this one. Not this one, that's M and JTV's video, which, I could say, it's definitely better than mine. But anyways, welcome back to another video in which I would be talking about the history of the ghost types, where I will be talking about the Pokemon that are ghost types, the new added moves, and changes applied to the ghost typing during each generation, whether how it affects the game or the competitive scene. With the intro out of the way,
let's get right into the news!
the RGBY games, red, blue, green, and yellow. The ghost type, like any other types in the game, can do super effective damage to some types and deal significantly less to others, while also taking less damage to specific types while also taking heavy damage to other types. In Generation 1, ghost type moves can do 2 times damage to other ghost types and deals no damage to normal and psychic types. On the other hand, ghost types take less damage to bug and poison, weak to the ghost type, and is immune to normal and fighting type. But there was one problem: the ghost type was supposed to do 2 times damage to psychic, not 0. This happened due to an error in the programming, but don't worry, they were able to fix this later in the next generation. In Generation 1, there was only one fully evolved ghost type Pokemon, and that's Gengar, with a base stat total of 500. And there were only 3 ghost type moves in Generation 1, and those are Confuse Ray, a move that confuses opponents, Lick, a mediocre ghost type move with only 30 power that has a chance to paralyze its opponent, and Nightshade, a move that bases its damage on the user's level and can hit normal types as well. Overall, these are just mediocre moves that see small usage in Gen 1 competitive, except for Nightshade, as it was used on one of Gengar's moveset, the Sleep Inducer set, in OU. That's about it for Gen 1. Now let's move on to the Generation 2 games, Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Gen 2 brought some changes to the ghost type. Aside its new tweaks to the ghost type's offense, remember what I said that ghost type cannot damage psychic type but was supposed to? Yeah, they were able to fix that and add new things into it as well. In addition to ghost type moves doing more damage to psychic types now, ghost type moves does less damage to the new types that were added in Gen 2, the Dark and Steel type. I actually did a Then vs Now video on both types. If you want to check it out, I can put the link in the description below. Please check it out. Like new Pokemon and new moves. Yes, new Pokemon. There was only one new ghost type Pokemon added to Gen 2, and that's Misdreavus, a pure ghost type Pokemon with a base stat total of 435. Although the new Pokemon was not very good, the new moves, however, are very good, and still see some use in competitive until today. The new moves added are Curse, a status move that functions differently depending on what type uses it, but since we're talking about the ghost type, that's what we are basing the move on. The function of Curse if a ghost type uses it is that it reduces the user's HP by 50% in exchange for the opposing Pokemon losing 1/4 of its maximum HP every turn. Destiny Bond, a status move that can make the opposing Pokemon faint if the user uses it, and the opposing Pokemon knocks it out. Nightmare, a status move that makes the opposing Pokemon lose 1/4 of its maximum HP if the opposing Pokemon is asleep. Shadow Ball, a move that deals 80 damage with a chance to drop the opposing Pokemon's special defense by 1 stage, and Spite, a status move that decreases an opposing Pokemon's random moves power points by 2 to 5. Now let's move on to Generation 3. This is the generation that first introduced more than one fully evolved ghost-type Pokemon, during the time, that is. Because the later generations will introduce cross-gen evolutions for earlier gen Pokemon. The new ghost-type Pokemon introduced are Bayonet, Dusclops, Sableye, and Shedinja. And the base stat total of these ghost-type Pokemon are decent, but not very good. Bayonet and Dusclops have a base stat total of 455, Sableye has 380, and Shedinja has 236, the lowest base stat total for a fully evolved ghost-type Pokemon, totaling the overall base stat total of all the 4 Pokemon to 382. But if there's anything I've learned in competitive Pokemon, is that having a not so good base stat total doesn't matter as long as you fulfill a role. Out of all the Pokemon I just mentioned, Bayonet and Dusclops are the Pokemon that is successfully used in competitive until today, except for Bayonet because it fell off after the later gens. In the generation it was introduced, Dusclops was on the underused borderline and Bayonet was on the underused tier, while today, Bayonet is unused while Dusclops is still used, a lot. And there were only 3 new ghost-type moves introduced in this generation, and they're not even used in competitive, at all. The new moves are, Astonish, a move that does 30 damage and has a chance to flinch a target, Grudge, a status move in which it drains an opposing Pokemon's last move's power point to 0 if it makes the user of the move faint, and Shadow Punch, a move with 60 base power and does not miss. With Generation 3 wrapped up, let's move on to Generation 4. There are many ghost-type Pokemon introduced in this generation. These Pokemon are Drifblim, Dusknoir, Frostlass, Giratina, both the altered form and the origin form, Mismagius, Rotom, and Spiritomb. This is the generation with the overall higher base stat total for ghost-type Pokemon so far, with Drifblim having a base stat total of 498, Dusknoir with 525, Frostlass with 480, both forms of Giratina with 680, one of the highest base stat total for all the ghost-type Pokemon, tying with the other 2 legendary Pokemon in this video, Mismagius with 495, Rotom with 440, and Spiritomb with 485, bringing the overall total to 535. And Gen 4 added some pretty good ghost-type moves. The new moves are Ominous Wind, a special move that has a 60 base power and has a small chance to raise all of the user's stats, Shadow Claw, a physical move with 70 power and has a higher chance to land a critical hit, Shadow Force, a physical move with 120 power that goes for 2 turns, the first turn being invulnerable and the second turn dealing the blow. This is the signature move of Giratina, and Shadow Sneak, a physical move with 40 power and +1 priority. With Gen 4 done, let's go to Generation 5. This gen introduced 5 new fully evolved ghost-type Pokemon, some of these are my favorites. These new Pokemon are Chandelure, with a 520 base stat total, Cofagrigus with 483, Galurk with 483 and Jellicent with 480, bringing the overall total to 492. Even though Gen 5 added a few ghost-type Pokemon, there was only one new ghost-type move introduced. 1. And that's Hex, a special move that deals 50 damage normally but deals double damage if the opposing Pokemon has a non-volatile status. Let's now move on to Generation 6. Gen 6 introduced 4 new ghost-type Pokemon, and 2 of these are my absolute favorite. The new Pokemon are Aegislash, Gourgeist, Hoopa, and Trevenant. These Pokemon have an overall base stat total of 522, in which Aegislash has 520, Gourgeist with 494, Hoopa with 600, and Trevenant with 474. And this generation also introduced Mega Evolutions, in which some Ghost-type Pokemon from previous gens got Mega Evolutions as well. The 2 Pokemon who got Mega Evolutions are Mega Sableye with a 480 base stat total and Mega Bayonet with 555 base stat total. Almost forgot about this Pokemon, there's actually 3 Ghost-type Mega Evolutions introduced in Gen 6, and the third one's Mega Gengar with a base stat total of 600. Gen 6 made one change to the Ghost typing itself, and that it now deals normal damage to Steel type which previously it does half the damage. And to wrap up Gen 6, there were only 2 new moves introduced in this generation. Those moves being Phantom Force, a 2-turn move in which the user disappears in the first turn and deals damage in the second turn, and Trick or Treat, a status moves that adds the ghost typing to the opposing Pokemon. Now that Generation 6 is finished, next up is Generation 7. This gen introduced the most amount of ghost-type Pokemon in any generation. These new ghost-type Pokemon are Alolan Marowak, Blacephalon, Decidueye, Delmise, Lunala, Marshadow, Mimikyu, Dawnwing's Necrozma, Sensu-style Oricorio and Palossand, and just like how Gen 7 introduced the most amount of new ghost-type Pokemon, this generations also has the most amount for new ghost-type moves, but it really doesn't matter since all of the new moves added are signature moves and exclusive Z moves. The new moves are Menacing Moonraze Maelstrom, Lunala's Z move, Moongeist Beam, Lunala's signature move, Never-Ending Nightmare, the Ghost-type Z move, Shadow Bone, Alolan Marowak's signature move, Sinister Arrow Raid, Decidueye's Z move, Soul Stealing 7-Star Strike, Marshadow's Z move, Spectral Thief, Marshadow's signature move, and Spirit Shackle, Decidueye's signature move. And now for the last generation, Generation 8. The Gen 8 got new amazing ghost-type Pokemon, some are even in the overused and uber tier. The new Pokemon added are Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Cursola, Dragapult, Polteageist, Runerigus and Spectrier. With having base stats of 680, 510, 600, 508, 483 and 580. And lastly the new ghost-type moves, there are 4 new moves added, well, 3 of them are signature moves, what a surprise. The new moves are Astral Barrage, the signature move of Calyrex that has a 120 power that hits all adjacent Pokemon in the battlefield, G-Max Terror, the G-Max move of Gigantamax Gengar, Max Darkness, the Ghost-type Dynamax move, and Poltergeist, a special move that has 110 power that only works if the opposing Pokemon has a held item. And that about wraps up the video. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please hit the like button down below, comment, and it would mean a lot if you subscribe. And when I do this kind of video again, I really want to record my voice because doing it with the text to speech takes very long. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.